staff, good afternoon. It's Miss Conley. I'm making this video for you today. Instead of all of us coming together for a early 8 o'clock morning meeting. The purpose of this video is to talk about school safety, especially with lockdown procedures. I will go ahead and tell you that our school is required to have 2 lockdown drills per year. And there could be one coming up in the near future. It does have to happen before Christmas. So, after you view this video, I would encourage you the next day to put in your lesson plans a time to talk with your students about what lockdown procedures look like if you have not done so already with your class. So what I want to go over today with you is a couple of things that we've already discussed and then a couple of new things that you should know before we have our first lockdown drill. One is that everybody should wear their badge at all times. I've also given you a card to wear in the back of your badge that explains what a code red, yellow, and green means when that is called over the intercom, and then it has steps that you need to follow. And then also your keys, because when it comes to a lockdown drill, the very first thing that you need to do is to lock your doors. So please keep that in mind. Also, there is going to be an attachment to a video that's provided and made by Wake County that kind of walks through what a lockdown drill throughout Wake County should look like. So if you haven't viewed that, it was sent out at the beginning of the year, but if you have not viewed that, you need to view that video. So I'm providing the link within this email. And now I want to remind you of those new changes to lockdown drills that we have to see in place when it comes to the new way of going about a lockdown drill. One is that only red cards are used now. No green, no blue. I've had someone come around to all of the classrooms to remove those cards. We've also gone around to make sure that Velcro is safe to put and safely attached so that you can put a red card in the window if you are needing to use a red card. Now, red cards are only used if someone is hurt and needs emergency medical attention within your room. That's the only reason you would put a red card in the window. We do not indicate anymore that there are students who are good and well in a classroom. We do not use blue cards to indicate if someone is handicapped. And then I'm going to get to questions that some of you staff had when we had our early release that you had asked me, and it will hopefully answer some more questions that you have in terms of these new changes. Also, another new change is that the outside windows of our classroom, if the blinds are open, we want to keep those blinds open. And also, if the blinds are usually closed and you can open them safely, then you want to open them. And the reminder for why that change happened is that statistically, when it comes to lockdown procedures, the police have said that it is easier to look inside from the outside of the building. Remember, if we're in code red lockdown, that means someone is in the building. So for our blinds to be open on the outside windows, it allows police officers to look in and hopefully identify someone who's not supposed to be there, but also check to make sure that people are safe. So keep it in mind that blinds on the outside are open, but you would then, in terms of the window of your door to your classroom, that would be covered with paper. Do not use red paper, though, because red indicates that you have someone hurt in your room. So I've seen a lot of people have the roll down. They've got a black sheet of paper or something that covers that window because we wouldn't want anyone in the building to be looking into the classroom. But first and foremost, what do? You lock your door, first and foremost. Also, something regarding if there is a substitute with your class that, a day of a lockdown or a lockdown drill. Staff, in all of your sub-plans, you need to make sure that there is a section that talks about a possible lockdown. When we have subs, we do not issue them master keys. So they need to either keep their door locked all day and just be very mindful that when the class goes out, they're going to leave the door unlocked. But when the class is inside the room, their door is locked. And if that's something that is just not feasible, then if there is a code red lockdown, then you would leave notes in the sub-plans to barricade the door.
and lock it that way as best as you can. And we have had incidents in the past where subs or even teachers that weren't with their keys were able to barricade the door. So that's your next go-to. But this does need to be at a visible spot within your lesson plans for every sub-lesson plan, okay? So please do that immediately. Also, now I'm going to go over some of those questions that happened at our first early release. I've spoken with Dana Driscoll, our security officer for our South District, and he's the one that gave me these answers. So I told you I would get back with you, and I wanted to hear it from him on how to answer these questions the best. I will go ahead and tell you before I answer any of these questions that the number one thing to think about is to use common sense. We could entertain questions and scenarios, that could last a whole day, and we're still never going to have the perfect answers. So that's where it comes into what is the common sense thing to do to keep those in your room as safe as possible. So that's really the answer to everything, but I'm going to go into some more specifics. One question was, I usually have my blinds closed. Should I have them open when a lockdown occurs? And basically the answer that I was given is, once a code red lockdown has been called over the intercom, if you can safely open the blinds from the back window, then you may do so. But if not, then you can't. Okay? Another one says, if your room has the intruder and everyone else's room is secure, what disguises your room from the others? Well, the police have multiple ways of trying to figure out where the shooter or the person who intrudes in to the school could be. And so let them figure that out. We've got cameras and all sorts of ways, but the biggest thing is that you would lock your door, and the window would be covered from the classroom. So the police officers could use maybe the outside blinds, so keep that in mind. And then also there are other ways that police officers know how to try to figure out where that intruder might be. So your first and foremost job is to have everyone safe in your classroom. This one is asking, do we put a red card up if we are missing students? Maybe they're in speech or they went to the bathroom. You do not do that. You are only putting red cards out if someone is hurt. So this does not indicate I'm missing someone, because red cards used to mean multiple things, and that caused a lot of confusion. So you need to speak to your students about what it looks like if they are in speech or if they're in the bathrooms and that sort of thing. Remember, once you go to lock that door, teachers, you sweep the hallways and pull those in, okay? Those students in. One question was specifically asking about the trailers and blinds. I was told you need to think of it like this. If you're in a trailer, you need to think of one side of your trailer being like it was inside the school building, and then you can think of the other side as the outside of the school building, just like if that trailer was placed back into the school. Okay, so you would lock, close, all that stuff when it comes to the door and one side, and then the other side, if it allows you to do this, you can open the blinds. But keep in mind, if you're in a trailer and you can see in multiple ways, you need to stop and think about this before you tell your students what to do. If your blinds are open on one side, then maybe you want to hide somewhere else so that you cannot be seen by looking in. I need you to use your best judgment, and if you've got a specific question about the trailers, then you need to email me or come find me soon, and I will get to the bottom of that. I hope that that is clear, and if your blinds are already closed, only if you can safely open them do you go and open them. But what's the first rule? Lock your door. And then finally, someone has asked, about can we only hide? Can we do something, that's more defensive if someone does come in? And that goes back to common sense. Your very first thing is that you lock down. Secondly, you do have options, guys, and that is to hide. Then there's another option of running or fighting. And that's you as a teacher I'm speaking to on this. That goes back to common sense and using what you think might be the best form of safety for yourself and your students. So this is always a touchy subject, and I know that it does stimulate a lot more questions, and I'm sure this video has raised more questions. So I have no problem answering those. It does take me a little while because I want a specific answer from some bigwigs up at the district level, but I will get back to you. But this is very important that you are aware of these procedures and that we have a good first lockdown drill, and then of course we always debrief afterwards as to what went good, what went bad, and what is first and foremost, it's safety within our schools. So thank you for what you do for our kids. Thank you for being on board and taking this as serious as it should be taken. And I will answer questions as they come to me. Everybody have a great day. Bye.